Hey, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Tracy and I am a girl with plans. In today's video, I'm going to show you a notebook I created to track all of my strength training workouts. Alright guys, so I figured we'd take a break from my Plan With Me's for my fitness planners and instead show you this companion notebook that I created. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I created this notebook primarily to track the weights that I'm using in strength training. And if you follow my channel and you follow my fitness videos or my fitness Plan With Me videos, then you know that I also track that information in my planner. So yes, I am currently tracking it in two separate places. However, I eventually would like to only track it in here. But for the short term, I am going to still track it in both places. Now, the reason why I created a notebook in addition to using my planner is because I have like all of my workout equipment in one room, and I figure this is just easy to throw in the room and then just like log all of the weights that I'm using for each workout there, instead of having to go get my planner or make sure my planner's in that room and then transferring it. Yeah, it was just simpler to do this way. Plus, with the planner at the end of the year, I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to keep it after that. I'm planning on keeping my planners archived for maybe 6 months to a year after I finish it, but space is going to kind of determine how long I keep it. However, these notebooks I can keep for a longer term. So with that said, let's go ahead and start flipping through. This cover is a cover that was on a very old Happy Planner fitness planner. I don't know how old it is. I know I used to buy those Happy Planner fitness box sets that came with the planner, like a couple of sticker sheets, a whole thing. I used to sell them at Michael's, and that is where this cover came from. And I did, like, even though I got rid of all the pages, I did keep the cover, and I'm glad I did because I think this is perfect for this notebook. All right, so I've shown this page before, so I'm not going to go into it, but I just created a page where I logged some of my favorite on-demand workouts. So on days that I'm not feeling like working out, I can just flip to this page, see which workouts I really enjoyed, and then pick one of these. That was kind of the thought behind it. I haven't really kept up with adding workouts to this, and in all honesty, like right now I subscribe to the Peloton app, and they just have so many workouts that get released, on every single day, that I haven't had to refer to this as often as I thought I would. However, I also have the Les Mills app, and I do plan to utilize that for some of my favorite releases and things like that for certain classes like Body Combat and things like that. All right, so speaking of which, that is kind of how my on-demand classes that I have is how I have set this up. So I have Peloton and Les Mills on demand. So for Peloton, I do a lot of strength training, and a lot of their strength training is broken into like body parts. However, they do have some full body workouts as well. But all I did is I just took a old divider, put my own tab on it, stuck some paper on it, and then I used a Happy Planner vertical pages. That is what this is. Let me see. I think I have an extra one. Yeah. See, I have an extra one right here. All I did was just cover the dates, and that's pretty much it. That's all I did. And I am using the vertical because I have the vertical. I have so many vertical planners that are 2023 planners, just because Hobby Lobby had that like crazy sale where all these planners were started to be reduced to like $3.49. So I grabbed a few, and now I need to use them. Ideally, I think it would have been easier if I would have used a teacher planner, but I only have one extra teacher planner, and I plan on using that next year. So that's why I decided to use the vertical. But with that said, if you have an extra teacher planner laying around, it would probably be a lot easier because you don't have to cover the dates. You can just handwrite your titles for the columns here and then just hide the dates with stickers. And then where I kind of created my lines with highlighters, you wouldn't have to do that in a teacher planner. You also wouldn't have to do that in a lined vertical. So actually, you probably don't need lines. I wanted lines. And you'll see as I flip through, I stopped doing the two colors and just did one because my hands started hurting. But the thought process behind this is when I'm doing my strength training workouts, like what I typically do with the Peloton app is I'll do like legs one day followed by upper body the next day. So I've kind of wrote down most of my frequent type of exercises part of those workouts. And I wrote those at the top. And then all I'm going to do, you can see how I switched to like one color, is write the date that I did it and then write the weight size that I use. That's pretty simple. I put a key here for some of the codes that I may use. Like S is for single leg. So for like hip bridge, I didn't really want to do single leg hip bridge and regular hip bridge because there aren't too many exercises that I've come across that have those. We'll see. Maybe I need to separate them at some point. But right now I just figured I would add an S for single leg. So that's kind of where this like key comes in. And I did divide everything by type. So I have like my squats and my lunges here. And then this is kind of more of the glute focused type stuff here. And then I have a couple of like blank ones. And I think here what I'm going to do is, if there are even workouts that I know, like one time it was like where it was like shoulder press march in place. So like you held the weights above your head and you marched in place. Well, there aren't going to be that many programs that's going to have that thing there, you know, that type of workout. So I can just use one box instead of one whole column for that. So that might be what I do in these. But as you can see, that is what I've done here. Now, I'm going to admit something. I don't know that I'm going to continue to do the highlighting when I run out of space. I'm probably just going to write across the row, or I may just draw lines. I don't know, but this was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be, but that's fine. All right, so my next section is going to be the Les Mills section. So Les Mills has two programs that I have started. Well, one that I've been doing for a while, but another one I recently started. Like one of them is the strength development program. So that they have like 4 or 5 type exercises in it. So that's why I created these sheets for that. And they don't need as much room, but again, it's the same concept. Basically, I have strength 01, so then all of the strength 01s will go here. So I have enough room for me to do this number 1 6 times before I run out of space. But then I have extra sheets for, I think there's like a handful of them up on the thing. So when I do like strength development number 2, things like that, you kind of catch. This is very similar to this setup. It's just obviously I didn't do the highlighters. This is where I did the lines. Okay. And then my third section is my body pump section. So those of you who are familiar with body pump, this is like probably boring, but those who are not, body pump is like a full body workout. So basically you work all of these areas in one workout and it's always the same. So that way I could actually title this. And I figured what I would do is just kind of have these little big areas here to dictate which body pump release it is. So I have more here because these are like the newest releases. So that way I can kind of lump them all together. Because with this program, as opposed to just regular general programs, the squats are different because it's like, so in body pump, it's high reps is kind of the process. So you're not able to lift as heavy as you are with other programs. However, if I want to know exactly what it is, so like squats, there's usually like 3 rounds of squats and it might be like different stances. I can go to that release on the internet and actually find what the actual workouts were in it. So that's why I kind of just divided it by the actual release numbers. And then I have spots here because I figure as I go back to older releases, I might not need more than 3 spaces because I might do it like for 1 or 2 weeks and then go back to another release. So I've created a lot of these pages. I got a little carried away. All right. And then my last section is the checklist. And I don't have my old ones, but I was originally trying to track all of this stuff in the checklist, and it just was not enough room for me to write in. But I think I might actually use this for some sort of tracking. I'm just not sure that it's worth it right now, because what my thought process would be is, instead of writing dates or anything like this across the top, just kind of write the thing I want to track and just write a start date and an end date and just literally check off as I do it. So like morning walks, that's something that I really, really want to start getting back into. I had done it in the fall and then hadn't really done it since. So I would like to get into it. So let's say I want to track this from now until the end of the year. So what I would do is I would just like write outdoor walks here, maybe keep some spaces under it free so that way I have multiple rows just in case I decide to walk a lot, y'all. But what I could do is like literally just go and just start checking it. And then at the end of the 6 months, I can count to see how many I've done. So that is something that I'm toying around with, just because these checklists come in the teacher planner and I want to utilize them. So I figured that might be a way to utilize them. I know like tracking habits and things like that is a good thing to do. But for me, I track a lot of my habits like on a weekly basis. But as far as workouts go, I feel like I'm kind of tracking that in my planner just by writing it down. So this is like things that I kind of want to track. Like once I start getting into the vibe of doing yoga, which is something I really want to do, or stretching, I think this is something that I want to maybe track here. So like outdoor walk, stretching, things like that, maybe even yoga, just so I can get kind of a longer range view. Like I said, like maybe like a 6-month type view. So that is what I am actually considering doing there. You know, put some cute stickers on top of that. And then I just have filler paper in the back. That's it, guys. This is my strength training notebook. I kind of just wanted to share it with you guys. I know this is completely different than my typical plan with me's. If I can find my planner, I will show you the the weekly spread that I've done for next week, and now you will see why I actually didn't do a plan with me, because I decided to do this foil which is super pretty, but it's very hard to see on camera, and I feel like it would give you guys a headache if you were to sit here and watch me put all these like highly reflective stickers on the page. So I decided that I would not do a plan with me this week, and instead I would just show you my companion notebook. But I will say, if you are curious, these obviously are Squad Girls. I believe it came from a Squad Girls accessory book. And then I also used the Wild Jungle book from Happy Planner, which I believe is on Amazon. I will try to link that in case you guys are interested. But yeah, kind of wanted to show you my spread. As always, you can follow me on Instagram to see all of my planner spreads, because I obviously don't do plan with me's for all of my planners. All right, guys. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any suggestions as far as my tracking goes. And let me know what kind of things you track, and if you have a separate notebook, or if you kind of incorporate that into the planner. And I'm also curious if you track like the same thing in multiple places, because I feel like I'm obviously being duplicative by tracking it twice. And I don't find it a nuisance to do it. I find it still helpful, but I don't know that it's necessary. So I just got to figure that out. I guess I got to be consistent about where I track it. And I think that's my problem. Most of the time I track it in here, but there are times where I track it in my planner and then transfer it here later. So I think that's why I'm still kind of doing 2 places, but we'll see. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. And if you're not already subscribed, I really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. And I do want to give a big shout out to all of my returning subscribers. That is all I have for now. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, evening, or night. Until next time, bye.